Don't forget to check out the Social Oddities on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. T-shirts are now available to all our podcast fans. They're available in a variety of different colours and also in different sizes. Keep in contact, follow, like, and share. Let all your friends know to listen to the Social Oddities podcast.
It's the Social Oddities podcast, coming at you from 5 parts of the UK, all for one reason: the amazing world of wrestling.
I've never seen a crowd so fired up, JR. They know what's coming next. They can't wait to get started, and neither can I.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to episode 22 of the Social Oddities podcast. I'm Steve, and tonight we're going to be joined on a roundtable discussion by Adam.
Hello.
Kev.
Hello.
And joining us again, a guest host, Nathan.
What's up?
How's it going, guys? You had a good week?
I did have until we did this fucking stupid belt draw.
Is that because you didn't win?
Yeah,
yes.
For the benefit of those people listening, tonight the Social Oddities have a Facebook group called TSO's Wrestling Without Borders, and we've been running a promotion where you can win a WWE belt of your choice. The chap who won it is a guy called Gary Sibley, who may or may not be listening to this particular podcast, and it hasn't gone down too well with Adam, has it, Adam?
No, because obviously the guy who won it was called Gary and not Adam.
True. I would have quite liked it to be Steve as well, to be fair, but we can't always have it our own way, can we?
Yeah, to be fair, if it was a guy called Steve, I'd still be in this mood.
We could have maybe just said Kev, and we would have both been happy.
No, definitely not. Kev ran it. He definitely couldn't win it.
It was all fair because it was from the bonus ball.
Not the Thunderball.
Not the
Thunderball.
We won't be going into that one. But let's all hope Gary enjoys his belt. Well, there'll be plenty of pictures to see, and he's going to be doing an unboxing video for us as well. So that'll be something to look forward to.
If you say so.
Right. So today we're going to have a chat. All of us except Nathan. Nathan went to the last Progress show in Manchester. We were at the one just gone, a week on last Sunday, which was chapter 52, Vote Pies. We all enjoyed it, and we're going to have a little chat about some of the show, some of the matches that we watched, and also to have a look at Progress's chapter 53 show as well. So maybe we can just go to Adam first of all. What was your thing you enjoyed the most about Progress chapter 52?
I'm probably going to say we have a lister called Rob who was there, and it was definitely his dancing. Which I think we do have a video, which we will probably put on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, we've got videos of it.
But no, apart from obviously Rob, I'm probably going to say I really enjoyed the Pete Dunne Eddie Dennis match. I thought that was a really good match.
Really good match, definitely.
Yeah, that was really good. So I think that's probably one of my highlights. I'm actually struggling to think, so we'll have to cut this out.
What about yourself, Kev?
Matt Riddle match. I really enjoyed that.
Riddle's last match in the UK till September as well, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I think we got a bit of a treat there.
Yeah, well, that was a really good match, but to me, up until then, it seemed very, I don't know, like slow. The fans didn't seem to be into it. Obviously, due to the first match fuck-up.
Yeah, I heard about that. What was the mess-up in the first match?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure now that I've watched it back on Progress on Demand, and you can't really tell. I don't know whether or not it was just maybe a fast count from the ref or there was a genuine injury. No one's really come out to discuss it. Where did you see that from your angle, Kev?
Well, I was literally standing to the corner where Jim stands when he's like waiting to do the ring announcing, and even he was shocked, like, oh, it's finished. So I honestly think the ref's getting it wrong and counted it early instead of maybe it's another 5-6 minutes later.
Yeah, it must have been a CCK win, though. You see?
Yeah.
I think
it sat up on Sunday's result as well.
Yeah, because they had obviously another match in there. I think they won without any controversy this time.
What did we think of their part? Well, what did we think of Extra Talented making their Progress debut? Do you like their work?
I'm undecided. I can't say whether I did or I didn't like them. To me, they didn't come across as anything special. I I don't like the look, to be honest. I think there's tag teams out there that've got a better look, but I don't know. You never know. It might grow on me.
I seen them at the they were at Attack the week before, and they didn't really get a good reception. I wasn't like impressed with them at all. The crowd actually died when they came out. I don't know what it was with them, but they just didn't seem to have anything that's really got you interested in their match then. So I don't know if you felt the same as that.
It's probably a fair comment, Nate, to be honest. I'd never seen them wrestle before. Obviously know who both of them are. I think on Sunday, chapter 53, I didn't go, but I saw some comments online. I think Aaron Solo brought a little bit of heel heat onto himself by mentioning his relationship with Bayley from WWE as well, which was a bit of an interesting move. You would have assumed he'd maybe quite like to distance that.
I think he should embrace it. I think he's obviously not signed up to a major promotion, so to get his name out there, be a bit of a dickhead, be a heel, and mention that he's with Bayley whenever he can. Yeah,
what do you think of the crowd reaction to that as well, though? Do you think that will keep him over as a heel? Do you think it's just going to be like some sort of weird angle where he's coming after saying, I'm better than all of you because I go out with, a WWE superstar or whatnot?
The way I look at it is if he gets booed, he's doing his job right.
Yeah, very true.
It's like my favourite heels at the minute in the UK scene. You've got Nathan Cruz, who I mentioned before, who's just a proper cunt. But but obviously not impersonal. No, I don't know him personally, but his character's a proper cunt, and he's massively over as a heel. Same with Zach Gibson,
Liverpool's number one.
Yeah, the boos when he are deafening.
The thing with him though, he does talk the talk, and he walks the walk in the ring.
Yeah,
and
I can
whatever he's doing is perfect.
To be honest, I think Zach Gibson could make it to WWE without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, I don't know, because of his Scouse accent.
Yeah, there is that.
Just look at what they've done to Neville.
He's doing all right for himself, isn't he?
Yeah, but they're trying to make him talk posh, and it's like, dude, you're talking posh, but fuck, the Geordie's coming out of you still.
Yeah, it's like us trying to make Kev talk posh.
Oh no, it'll never happen. It just doesn't sound right, does it?
No.
So getting them to change that accent just it doesn't work.
No. Well, Robbie Brookside is not doing too bad in the performance centre. They don't mind letting him on camera every now and again.
Yeah, but he's not on camera, is he? Really? He's not on TV every week.
No.
And plus, he's there. He's there because he's a fucking shit hot wrestler.
Very true. Very true. His daughter's doing pretty well at the moment as well. She seems to be travelling worldwide. I think she was over in Japan last couple of weeks too. She's obviously keeping it in the family.
I mean, the thing about the family is obviously they were at the peak back in the early 90s when they had that Channel 4 television show after them. And then obviously that got cancelled.
That part of the Channel 4 drama that they had on there, yeah, definitely.
I thought it was based on the real life.
Hey, it made some stars, didn't it?
Yeah. Still trying to find that person under the patio, I think.
They'll never know. Robbie's took it to Orlando with him.
That's it. That's the one. So what about you, Nath? Have you had a chance to have a little look at the latest Progress show on demand, or have you seen any of the results? Anything stick out for you as maybe a good match?
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I've seen some of the results, and what's interesting to me is obviously Matt Riddle beat Travis Banks, who's the number one contender for the title. So it's interesting to see how they kind of book him going forward, whether they give him a couple of big wins back, or do they bring him onto a losing streak?
I think the way they book that is mainly, you probably wouldn't have got it from the results, is Pete Dunne came onto the stage and essentially interfered without coming to the ring and took Travis Banks unawares, and then Riddle capitalised on it. And I think a similar thing then happened at chapter 53 as well, from what I've read. So I would assume that's where they're coming from, just making it look like Pete Dunne's costing him the match time after time.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense then, yeah. But yeah, there's still 2 losses in his run-in though, so it could be kind of a story of him just going on a massive losing streak and not having like the confidence to take it to the next level or what. Though I don't know really. Interesting to see how they lead up to it, because isn't it like a stipulation if Pete Dunne gets pinned, they get added to the match as well? or something.
Yeah, there's something going on. There's something going on with it. One thing that I've been reading about today, which is going to be fairly interesting for those people who have had a chance to read the results from Chapter 53. If not, by the time this show goes out online, it probably will be on Progress On Demand. They're usually pretty snappy with it. But we saw the return of the South Pacific Power Trip. What's quite interesting is that Pete Dunne seems to be able to pick Travis Banks' partner, who's going to be fighting each week up until their title match at Ali Pali. Is he going to put maybe himself up against somebody, maybe TK, or maybe obviously Travis up against TK?
If I were booking it myself, I would pick TK against Travis.
Just to test the friendship.
Test it, yeah. I mean, I can see potentially TK turning on him eventually. So I think why not just test the water now, see how they react, and then book it later down the line. But it's interesting that but like you said, Travis can pick Pete Dunne's opponents, so maybe you could have it on the other side, TK versus Pete Dunne.
Yeah, as like kind of a prelude for Ali Pali. Well, another thing, again, some of you may know a little bit more about it, but Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, we've talked about it on the podcast before, are obviously doing their show. And I know TK and Travis are both in their tournaments that they're going to be running later in the year. Do they ever use sort of promos from other promotions in their run-ups to stuff like that? Could this be a kind of a prelude if it is going to be Travis versus TK, and they then may fight each other in the much larger televised tournaments?
I did say actually when they announced TK that they should definitely have them fight each other.
Would it be a big enough draw for maybe people who might not be aware of them in the States without having some sort of backing story maybe?
I think it would be, because it's like people in the States who didn't know about Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, they worked together every day for how many years? Yeah. So they can put on a fucking shit-hot match. So, Travis and TK, they work together quite a lot. I think they'd put on one hell of a match. So
there's quite a few other UK talents that we're looking forward to seeing in the Battle for Los Angeles. One of the UK exports that we're going to be seeing is going to be someone like Flash Morgan Webster. Haven't seen him on Progress for the last couple of shows now. Is he someone you think might make it far in the US scene?
I think he could, personally. I've watched him a couple of times in Attack, and while I'm not massive on his character, to be honest, I don't really get it. I think he's got a good wrestling skills, and his matches are always one of the best on the card. He brings a lot to it. So, and he was in line for the Cruiserweight Open, wasn't he, or something, until he got injured?
I think he actually got injured in some sort of qualifier, was it, for the Cruiserweight Classic, the WWE?
Yeah, something like that. Well, so, he's been on the radar, at least, in that respect. So, yeah, I think he might do all right for himself.
I think someone like Riptide is missing the trick as well with the whole mods versus rockers thing. I'm sure that's going to be some sort of show that they're going to put on further down the line, with them being based out of Brighton as well, and the whole mod father gimmick.
That would be something I would like to see, to be fair.
Who's the rocker? Can anyone think of a character on the UK scene who would be a rocker? Because I'm struggling.
Marty Jannetty.
I think Marty Jannetty would do it as well. I honestly do. We should fly him in. Message them, Adam. Message them tonight.
I think I've got him on Facebook, actually.
Tell him we want 1% of the takings of that match.
And we all want a ticket.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that'll be cool. Well, obviously, other than Progress, we've had the usual bits and bobs going on in the world of wrestling. We've had Raw and SmackDown this week. Raw, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned, has been on a bit of a roll. I think they've done pretty well. I'm actually still quite liking the whole Jason, Jordan, Kurt Angle storyline. I thought it was going to be horrendous. It started off cheesy as anything, and it's actually maybe building Jason up to a little bit of a mid-card title shot by the looks of it against The Miz. Did anyone happen to see that?
Yeah, a little bit of it.
Yeah, they seem to be setting him up for an Intercontinental title program for SummerSlam, don't they? It's, the problem with Jason Jordan is his extreme lack of mic skills, really, isn't it? He hasn't really...
Definitely.
Yeah, he hasn't really got a character either, is he, to be fair? It's just... His whole character at the moment is, I'm Kurt Angle's son.
Yeah.
They got some similarities in the ring, suplexes, and he's a very, very good wrestler. And I remember a few years ago when NXT first did their UK tour, and they did a show in Cardiff, and who had American Alpha against, I think it was the Revival. Can't really 100% remember that. But Jason Jordan was great in getting the crowd going. That's when the whole kind of that tour was when the whole Jordan, Gable chant started, and he was absolutely fantastic in getting all the crowd behind them. And when he was out of the ring, he was good at getting the crowd going for Gable. So he's definitely got some sort of like ring presence and some personality there. But maybe whether it takes time for him to really become himself. Obviously, he's been in a tag team for a long time. Is it yet to see? And I am interested to see where they go with the story. If he wins the title at SummerSlam, where do they take him from there, really?
Yeah, I think you're right there, Nate, to be honest, about Jason Jordan. I think there's going to be a lot more that he needs to be able to show before he's going to be shown as maybe a credible upper-card talent, but maybe mid-card. Looks like he might be facing the Miz. Do you reckon at SummerSlam?
Yeah, looks like the way it's going to me. That's what they kind of hinted at with this whole Miz TV segment, wasn't it? So, and I can't really see anybody else in line to face the Miz at the moment. It seems like Rollins and Ambrose have gone a separate direction. So, yeah, I think that's what they're going for, at least.
Would you like to see that, Adam?
Personally, no. I think the Miz feuds are one step too far. Have a feud against a non-title challenger, a non-title holder. Someone like
Slater?
No, because I like Slater. And that obviously he's going to lose. I'm trying to think who's on there. Who's a heel? Bloody hell!
You got to start thinking now, haven't you?
I'm trying to think who we got as a heel. See, if he was on SmackDown, I'd have said someone like Rusev. Obviously, you got Bray Wyatt with Balor. You could have had him against someone like Elias. Well, just Elias now.
And that's bollocks.
Booker T didn't seem to get the memo on that one.
Were we calling him Samson?
The whole time.
He's old.
I quite like the whole Elias thing now. I think he's pretty good. It's a bit weird, though. They've now seemed to have a singing character on both Raw and SmackDown. That's a bit weird. Wonder where
Raw's is better.
Yeah. I quite like that Aiden English, though. Seems quite a decent wrestler. Got the look as well.
Yeah, it's just he's singing shite.
He's winning an opera match, though, I reckon.
Yeah.
Just not a light rock. So has anyone managed to catch SmackDown as well?
I've seen the results, I've seen the highlights, but I've not watched it all.
I watched all of SmackDown.
Did you like the artist?
Go on, Kev.
I was just going to say, do you know what that was billed as? The artist versus the franchise?
You are joking.
No, there's a few times it was mentioned as the artist and John Cena as the franchise.
So they didn't get Shane Douglas back for a one-match only contract?
Exactly. I'm sure, I don't know if it was JBL or Facebook, whatever his name is. I'm forgetting his name.
The franchise.
I'm sure it was said 2 or 3 times about John Cena being the franchise.
I could think of quite a few words for John Cena, but the franchise probably wouldn't be one of them.
Definitely not.
Did anyone see that suplex he took?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a bad one.
Where do you think that leaves Nakamura? Obviously, in the realms of anyone can make a mistake, but that was a pretty bad mistake.
And it was against the man who could make or break a career.
Yeah, it was against the franchise.
Well, yeah.
But if you look at it, though, John Cena didn't actually help himself.
No,
John Cena, I could see it was going wrong halfway through. John Cena released himself when he was at the top, rather than just letting it go and literally landing on the back of his head, rather than landing on his head.
Yeah, maybe. It's a tough one. When you have things like that, I suppose anything can happen in the split second, can't they? That's what you have to kind of watch out for. Injuries happen all the time, but it was maybe just a tad unlucky for Nakamura that it happened to be against someone like John Cena, because it gets amplified that bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he did say I'm sorry after the match when they was like shaking hands and things, and I'm sure Cena said, "Don't be sorry, or you've got nothing to be sorry about."
Yeah, he did say, yeah, I've seen that. That's why I think he'd be fine. Mistakes happen in wrestling at the end of the day, don't they?
Exactly.
It hasn't cost him, he didn't look injured at the end of it. It might be a bit of a sore one, but, no serious damage came of it, so.
He's got Nikki Bella to rub it better.
Yeah,
exactly. It would make me all right.
Yeah.
What did we make of a bit of a tongue-in-cheek fashion files this week with Twin Peaks? Did you happen to see that on the notice board? WWE being a bit risque.
I haven't seen that bit, to be honest. So.
No, I didn't see that bit. I actually didn't pay attention to it.
Oh, I actually quite like the Fashion Files. It's one of my favourite bits. But there was a section on there where they were doing something, and it was called something Peaks, say, and they were because of where they were in America. And they had a board, and it had all different people's names on, like they do. And it had the Bella Twins, and it said Twin Peaks, which is a little bit tongue-in-cheek for WWE.
I like that.
It doesn't happen too often. I suppose kids aren't getting onto that, though.
No. That's what WWE needs to do with stuff like that. Like something like The Simpsons is very successful at that, doing adult references in a family TV show. So, doing things like that, it can get him in trouble anyway, should they?
I think, as you said, Nate, quite rightly, The Simpsons has been massively successful with that. Even WWE post-PG, they were fairly successful with all of it, even, some of the move names and stuff like that. It just seems to have disappeared a bit over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think maybe they've just gone like super into their advertising, haven't they, and keeping all these companies happy, and it's just probably taken it a bit too far.
I also think it didn't help that Linda went into politics.
Yeah, exactly. They had to be squeaky clean, didn't they?
Yeah.
Is she definitely out of it now? Because she lost.
She works for Trump, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah.
She's the small business administrator or something.
Something like that guy, yeah. So, but then again, there's no limitations with Trump in there, so they shouldn't really worry now.
What else can you do with a WWE Hall of Famer as president? That's what I say.
Exactly.
You didn't see Barack Obama getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this past year, did you?
Exactly.
Well, Mr. Trump now should make WrestleMania a holiday for everyone.
Yeah, including UK people.
Yeah, he's the most powerful man in the world.
Foreign policy.
Let's just make sure it's not in Moscow this year. That one was for the political people there who might be listening, but we'll shade that one past because we don't want to get shut down by the Russians. So what about yourself, Adam? Have you got anything in mind over the next couple of weeks that you're looking at going to wrestling wise?
I'm going to a Tidal event on the 12th of August.
Where's that? In Leeds?
In Leeds, yeah. I can't remember who's there now. I think Jack Sexsmith's there, actually. We're looking forward to that. And then a couple of weeks later, I have got Rise in Leeds, which is a smaller promotion. And that's got Saxon Huxley. And I think the Pastor's there again. And in between that, obviously, we've got NXT and SummerSlam. Yeah,
definitely. NXT is shaping up to be a good event, and SummerSlam as well. I'm just interested, maybe what on the undercard for SummerSlam. What do we think might be edging towards that instead of the main show?
I think there'll be a few matches because I think there's quite a lot of matches that have been lined up.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of matches.
Is it another 4-hour show with a 2-hour pre-show?
It will be, yeah.
Well,
I think the show starts at midnight or something.
They confirmed Kevin Owens and AJ Styles again on SmackDown, didn't they? With Shane as the referee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's confirmed. I was kind of hoping they might move on to something else now. But adding Shane's an interesting twist. That could go something. It seems like Owens and Shane got a bit of tension between them. So whether they're trying to set up something between them two, I'm not really sure.
Have they announced if Hell in a Cell is going to be a SmackDown exclusive this year? Or is it Raw?
I think it's SmackDown this year, isn't it?
Do you think they might be edging maybe to an Owens versus Shane McMahon match? That's maybe a big pay-per-view like that? Because I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Shane's a bit of a spot man, isn't he? He jumped out of a helicopter the other week, didn't he? Delivering that ball drop. Yeah, that could be something they're doing. I'd be quite interested to see that, to be honest. I know Shane, well, we say Shane's a great wrestler, but he had a very good wrestling match at WrestleMania with AJ Styles. So
Shane, in his own right, has gone on through WWE, even from starting from the bottom. And obviously now he's WrestleManias. He's probably been at multiple WrestleManias, wouldn't you say, over the years? He must have been in some prior to coming back recently.
Yeah, he had that match against Vince, didn't he? At WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, of course he did, yeah.
WrestleMania 17, was it? Yeah, he's been in quite a few manias, and he's always been kind of a big four person, isn't he? But
seems to be getting better with age as well. He seems to be not slowing down on some of the moves he does. I know he got a little bit injured. Was it when they were doing the Team Raw versus Team SmackDown? Early this year? Yeah.
Yeah, when Roman speared him.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
No.
He's been pretty good.
No, Shane's he's a top wrestler, to be fair to him. He does. I've always enjoyed his matches. I've always been a big Shane McMahon fan. The risks he takes when he doesn't need to. He's worth God knows how much money. And he's always been one of those ones that puts on a good show and puts on a good match. So I always get excited for a Shane McMahon match. So seeing him maybe against Kevin Owens in Hell in a Cell could be entertaining.
What about yourself, Kev?
What was that?
What about yourself? What's your views on that? Shane McMahon, potentially Kevin Owens, building up to something in the near future?
I would like to see something like that. I'm not sure how they could go with it, other than, again, a big spot in a Hell in a Cell.
They seem pretty game, both of them as well.
Yeah, but the thing is with them, I think they could have a good fight rather than a good match. And I think that's what their match will be sold on. Like a street fight, a Hell in a Cell fight, rather than a wrestling match.
Do you think Owens would carry Shane? Or do you think they would both be fairly equally matched? Because it's not an easy task going into any sort of match like that.
I think they'd be kind of evenly matched, wouldn't they? Shane's always like a fighter, and you forget. I mean, I think maybe they sell Shane's offense a bit too much sometimes, because he kind of looks awkward when he's in the ring. If you forget what I mean, he's better being a hardcore kind of wrestler than he is like flat out puncher and stuff. But you don't know where they could take it.
Yeah, maybe like the underdog, because some of the stuff that he did when he was fighting the Undertaker at WrestleMania, was it 32, and he was hit the Undertaker with the big toolbox, and then he was doing the WrestleMania 33 where he was throwing loads of cans and stuff like that at people. So it's pretty cool. Obviously not afraid to take the bump, as you know.
No, Shane will do anything, to be fair to him. That's why I find his matches exciting, because you don't know what's coming in them. He seems, whether he gets permission to be a bit less safe than the regular wrestlers, I don't know, but he just takes these like massive bumps, and that Hell in a Cell is massive, and he took a big elbow drop from the top of it. So he's unpredictable, which is good in the world of WWE these days. You don't see it very often.
Well, let's all look forward to that match. I'm sure they'll certainly lead on to things to come. I'm certain of that. But keeping it into the world of WWE, outside of Raw, outside of SmackDown, we're going to have a chat now about our top 10 wrestling managers in history. So I'd like to all of us have a little think about who makes your list of the top 10 managers, who sticks out, who might be just missing off the top spot, and then we're going to be posting the results on the Facebook page as well. So anyone like to start us off with who maybe is their top pick for manager?
Paul Heyman.
I'm going to say...
Let's open it up just to make it more exciting. Let's open it up to WCW, ECW as well, just in case anyone wants to throw any curveballs in there.
I'm trying to think who I was quite liked Mr. Fuji. I think Mr. Fuji was a great heel manager back in the 90s.
I'd say one of my picks would go to Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer, yeah.
Yeah, literally, I don't think the characters of Undertaker or Kane would be the same without him. He was a driving force, especially early on, while they were probably still developing their characters.
No, I think you're right.
Sherry's got to be on there as well.
Yeah, definitely. What about, I say my choice, I would probably go with Paul Heyman. I'd agree with you, Kev. But honourable mention to maybe someone a little bit further down other people's lists would be Paul Ellering as well. I think he did a fantastic with the Road Warriors, and he's doing a great job now as well with the Authors of Pain.
Yeah. He's people like Authors of Pain who maybe haven't got much personality. Definitely helps them in that regard. Makes them seem just words and his actions make him seem even more dangerous and like they're under his control. So he's definitely doing a great job with them. The Road Warriors were a bit before my time, not gonna lie. So I don't really know his work with them so much.
Yeah, it was an interesting one with the Road Warriors because they were so much big personalities themselves. I was always surprised why they needed a manager, maybe just to keep them in check. Were you aware of any of their stuff, Adam? Maybe some of the WCW stuff, because they were obviously massive before they came into WWE.
I quite enjoyed watching the Road Warriors. To be honest, I'm with Nath of it. I didn't really know much about Paul Ellering when he was their manager. I do remember he had a little doll at one bit. Was it Rocco? And he came
Sounds
down.
about right.
Came down on the bikes at Wembley in SummerSlam '92. I do remember that, but no. Apart from that, I don't really know much about Paul Ellering with the Road Warriors.
Well, it was when you were saying before as well about Mr. Fuji. He was involved with Demolition, so that seemed to be WWE's answer to the Road Warriors, and he's obviously been involved with some other big names as well. I think, did he not die? Maybe last year, was it? Passed away?
Yeah, he did die last year, actually. Yeah,
that's sad.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the teams he has managed. You know, he's managed Powers of Pain. You remember those?
Yeah.
You know,
they were cool.
Yeah, obviously Yokozuna, managed Yokozuna for a bit, and I'm just looking at it, the Orient Express as well, which another great tag team.
When he was managing Yokozuna, was Mr. Fuji the guy who threw the salt in? Was it Bret Hart eyes, wasn't it? One of the WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, that's the one. Because that's obviously
one of the best WrestleManias ever.
Yeah, one of the most iconic moments as well. And that was where they were trying to bring Hogan back into it, and he had a quick victory over Bret, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember playing that on one of the WWE video games as well. They managed to sell that story quite well. It was good. Anyone else jump out on your lists of who you consider top managers in the history of wrestling?
Someone who I was a big fan of fairly recently was Vicky Guerrero. I thought Vicky Guerrero was fantastic as a manager. You never see anyone get as much heat as she had. And whoever she was manager at the time would just get that heat because of her. I just thought she was just an entertaining figure and someone I quite enjoyed seeing every week.
Yeah, I must admit,
right.
I really liked Vicky. It was actually a bit sad when she actually left.
Yeah, me too.
She actually would do anything to be, for WWE.
I'm glad you elaborated there, Adam, because that could have been awkward.
Yeah. Yeah. Another one that we haven't mentioned yet, who for me is probably in the top two, is Bobby Heenan.
Oh yeah, Bobby Heenan was an amazing manager. For me, I preferred him as a commentator and kind of backstage character, but as a manager as well, he's got to be up there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Would you class? I'm forgetting his name now. I've gone blank.
Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart as
well.
No.
Oh fucking hell! He hates Vince Russo.
Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette. That's it.
Yeah.
But would you class him as a manager?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say he had some, but again, he was more like an advocate, like Paul Heyman sort of thing, He
had the whole Camp Cornette thing, didn't he, going on?
Yeah, he was a promoter as well. He had his own promotion. Was it Smoky Mountain Wrestling at one point?
Yeah.
Now just really doesn't seem to like many people. But whatever.
He's an angry man.
Irrelevant, I suppose. But yeah, I think I enjoyed his speech, to be honest, at the last WrestleMania Hall of Fame. I don't know if anyone else caught up with that. And, well, obviously all of us were there. But ultimately, what you thought about him there? Was it the Rock and Roll Express that he was inducted?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really, because I think he said himself, Jim Cornette, that why would WWE have him back? Because he's been so controversial for such a long period of time. But maybe it's softening, because he was also on one of the WWE Bring It to the Tables, I think it was as well, or Table for Three.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to see that? That was quite cool as well.
See, I've always liked Jim Cornette. Literally says it as he sees it.
Yeah. Sometimes he says it a bit too much, though.
That is his only problem.
Yeah, he comes out with some corkers. In between every good comment that you can relate to, he comes out with the odd one or two corkers.
Yeah.
And I think we touched upon before, Paul Bearer, obviously fantastic manager, added an awful lot to the Undertaker and Kane characters. I think his work in WWE definitely can't go unnoticed.
Definitely. Would you put him down as number one?
In different ways, to be honest. He's top three for me. He's down on there solely because of the way he managed to bring on such a character like The Undertaker. He was the mouthpiece. The Undertaker didn't really speak much. Kane didn't really speak at all, except some of the weird noises he used to make through his voice changer, which was still a bit eerie and odd. But Paul Bearer, that character and the way he brought both of those two characters together, I think was pretty special. Probably don't see too many managers like him again.
No, you don't really see characters like them anymore, do you? And he fully committed to his character, didn't he? He was, you never really seen him as anything else. He was always the wild talking, I don't know really how best to describe him person you've seen on TV, but I agree with that. I'm as a big fan of Paul Bearer. I think he brought a lot to both those characters, and for me, he's definitely a top 5 manager.
Yeah, well, he wasn't as Paul Bearer manager of The Undertaker, but he also did some good work as Percy Pringle as well, with Rick Rude and stunning Steve Austin, back when he was stunning Steve Austin before the 316 days, which just shows to show that not only are you a good manager, but to be able to turn into 2 distinct characters like that is pretty special too, for a wrestler and a manager.
Also, he sounded a bit like he was a bit of a prankster as well, especially when he used to put cucumbers in the Undertaker's bag.
Did he? Is that why there's been a meme going around with the Undertaker with a cucumber? Because I did wonder that.
The Undertaker's apparently shit scared of cucumbers.
Well, like a cat.
Say that again?
Like a cat.
Yeah. He's really does not like cucumbers.
How weird. What an unusual thing to be scared of. See, like Kane didn't like fire and Undertaker doesn't like cucumbers.
Exactly.
Oh, that's for a different podcast anyway. But what about, Adam mentioned as well, Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South, aligned with some of the biggest wrestlers in the history of wrestling. I did manage to get a glimpse of him. I think he was at WrestleCon, and I also saw him at Hogan's Beat Shop in Orlando as well. He was there selling autographs with Hulk Hogan. Someone who definitely does not like to not hear his voice heard.
He's annoying, isn't he? He really was. He's one of those annoying, overbearing managers who just brought something to every team or every person he was with. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Jimmy Hart. He also did a lot of the music, didn't he, for a lot of the 90s wrestlers, was it? 80s, 90s?
Yeah.
So what was he, a producer? Producer for some of the soundtracks, was he? Yeah,
he wrote a lot of them. I'm sure he wrote Hogan's theme, didn't he?
I couldn't tell you, I don't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jimmy Hart was before Jim Johnson came about. Jimmy Hart did majority of the themes.
I assume you're just typing away to try and find this out.
I am looking right now.
Let's hope he still retains the royalties for them, hey?
He did. He composed many theme songs for wrestlers in WWF and WCW. Some of the famous ones he produced were Honky Tonk Man, Jimmy Snuka, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, The Rockers, Hart Foundation, Dusty Rhodes, The Legion of Doom, Hulk Hogan, Sting. So he did a lot of big ones.
Well, that's pretty good, that, yeah.
Yeah. He also did Shawn Michaels' theme.
I thought Sensational Sherry did that.
No, but she sang on it. I prefer Sexy Kurt, though. Much better version.
It was pretty good. So anyone else stick out for yourselves as top managers?
No. I mean, there's people who do you think would make a good manager?
What, in the current WWE now?
Current or past?
I can tell you someone who doesn't make a good manager and they seem to continue to push him, which would be Titus O'Neil.
I quite like him, to be honest.
Oh, no, I like what they've got going on there. But yeah, he's reminding me of the $1 Million Man. Not so much the manager, but so much the leader of a group sort of thing.
Can you see that being a faction, maybe, in the next couple of months? Maybe another wrestler getting added?
Yeah, I could see it.
Because I think we need a faction soon. We need, in WWE, another good faction to come in and just stir stuff up. Because it seems that we almost had it on SmackDown, where we had the Great Khali come back very, very briefly and could hardly walk, bless him. But that seems to be a bit of a rehash of the whole authority angle. Can anyone see anything forming? Anyone in particular maybe standing out at the moment who might join together?
I'd like to see a British faction.
They've teased it before on the video games as well, which is weird. I was talking about this the other day. You could form your United Kingdom, which had Sheamus in there, which I'm sure Sheamus wouldn't be too pleased with. But that was there. Who would you have in that?
You'd have to have the British strong style for me.
All three of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Managed by Regal, maybe.
Barrett. Bring Barrett back.
Yeah, Barrett would be a good shout. He should have been a world champion.
Definitely.
100%, I agree. Do you think something's happened behind the scenes there? Because I think you seem to be on course for that.
I'm going to use the phrase I've used a few times. Another face. That's all it is. Just another face in the crowd with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they should have done is they had him lose to Cena, didn't they? when he was Nexus. That was where they started going wrong with Barrett.
I think injuries cost him. He was supposed to win the Money in the Bank one year, wasn't he? And he got injured just before the event. I mean, there was another time that apparently he was in line for a big push and he got injured again. And I think once you kind of get so many opportunities with them and you get injured, they stop giving you those opportunities then.
Yeah, was that his shoulder or his elbow? He kept dislocating it, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. It's the same as when he had the gimmick Bad News in the end. It kind of was getting like a face reaction. People were looking forward to every week, so they made him stop saying his catchphrase. You know, if it's getting over, then make him a face. You know, sell T-shirts with it on. Yeah. I didn't see the problem with that. Like, there's some people, they're too stuck in their ways with making heels that they never think to try him the other way.
No, I think that's a fair comment. I think he really could have been the first British World Champion without a shadow of a doubt. In all honesty, can anyone see at the moment, I know we've gone off topic a little bit, but I think this is quite an interesting one as well, but any British wrestlers in the next, say, 5 years, WWE Champion?
Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll really get up to that level?
Yeah.
It's the whole thing with him. He's quite short, isn't he, really? And there's the whole thing of Vince likes his guys bigger and stuff. You know, he's got a fan base. Americans love him, don't they? They really do.
Thing is, though, he's a Triple H guy, so
yeah,
he will get the push.
Then how many people have gone up from NXT who've been Triple H guys and have kind of landed themselves in nowhere?
What would you say is obviously Pete Dunne's a fantastic wrestler. That's beyond the shadow of a doubt, and he's doing really well at the moment, and I'm sure he'll continue to do massively well for WWE. What would you say would be his least endearing skill, maybe? For me, I'd say he's not as good on the mic as he maybe could be for someone who's going to be going into that sort of main event picture eventually.
Yeah, I think you're right there. He's not great on the mic, but I think he's young enough and he's got the time on his hands to be good enough. You know, he can pick things up.
No, the thing is, though, you've got to think of who he can work with in the WWE for it. I mean, Regal, Triple H, they're two of the best on the mic.
Oh, yeah.
That's behind the scenes.
Yeah. I think we need some sort of British invasion angle. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then the title, and then I'll get a bit of prestige and maybe do it as if they did the Shield and have them invading and just beating people up and come into the ring with like a Union Jack or something, and that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they got a big fan base, like, with the die-hard wrestling fans already, haven't they? So, you know, they know names because they've been on the network a few times. So that might be the disadvantage as compared to the Shield. But no, if they to get them three, or even if it was like a few other guys thrown in and they were just attacking people every week, and they were taking over, say, SmackDown, for instance, and they held like two championships, I think it'd definitely be like, it'd be good for everyone involved, because you could have those patriotic American characters then as well that were chasing them. So that'd be exciting TV, no doubt about that.
Well, I think it could maybe lead into something on the lines of where they're making, well, I say making, it's been this way for a number of years, the whole Super Cena thing, and maybe like a Team America versus Team UK. They could go the whole hog with something like that. I think it'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The problem is nobody will beat America.
No, I don't know if anyone beats America or not. I think even if it would just be fantastic TV, watching it for maybe 3-4 months, then to build up to something like that, and then probably have the storyline, like obviously going back to the Shield, where there's going to be a split up. Pete Dunne goes on his way and then gets his main title push, leaving Trent and Tyler to do their own thing as well. And that'd be a good start to it. Anyone else you could see joining something like that sort of faction? Anyone maybe on the UK scene, or even he might even be in WWE now?
I don't think they need anybody else. You know, I think they're good enough.
Or just have them as their own like team, like a free bed rule type thing going on.
Yeah.
But then have like the fun character Jack Gallagher trying to join them, and sort of like Titus was. I think it was Titus with the New Day. Like, I want to join. Go and do this. No. I want to join. Go and do this. No, you're not joining. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. About yourself, Nath, are you still holding out for the Welsh invasion angle?
Oh, of course. As soon as we get Eddie Dennis and Mark Andrews on there.
Mason Ryan.
Mason Ryan. That could be the enforcer.
Bring it back.
Oh, bloody hell.
Back. Needs to come back. But no,
wasn't there a guy It wasn't Mason, but wasn't there a guy, Welsh chap on TNA as well?
That was Max.
No, there's another guy when he's from Swansea. I can't remember his name. He was quite jacked up kind of thing. I think he was quite
It was Robbie T.
Yes.
Or Robbie E. Robbie T or Robbie E. I can't remember which one's which.
They were like a tag team, weren't they? A little bit like Enzo and Big Cass sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. It's pretty cool. So, obviously, looking back at the teams and things like that, we're talking before about managers, talking a little bit there about stables, about UK stables and things. What else, manager-wise, would you say sticks out on the roster? I talked a little bit about Titus O'Neil and how I didn't really think he's work, and other guys disagreed. Who do you think as a wrestler would make that transition, maybe better now and then become a manager, maybe where the wrestling's not quite taking off for them at the moment?
In the future, when he's retired, I'd love to see The Miz stay around as a wrestler, as a manager, sorry. I thought that was
tongue-in-cheek. I know he hasn't done much wrestling lately, no.
No, but can you imagine him like trying to promote somebody else, not himself, for a change? I think he'd do a fantastic job.
Yeah, about yourself, Adam?
I'm definitely with that one. I think The Miz would be a great manager. Trying to think who else, really. Okay, who else would be a good manager?
I think The Miz would be good on commentary as well, to be honest.
Yeah. It's like you could also say Corey as a manager.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I think he could make a good stable from NXT.
Yeah, he could do. I think arguably for Corey, he's probably say himself that he's probably now going to have a better career with WWE than he was ever destined to have a career after his concussions.
Yeah,
as a wrestler, because he got to be in most people's top commentators and colour commentators of the last 10 years.
Yeah, he's definitely. He's brought something to it, hasn't he? They're probably, I don't know, relying on him a bit too much at the moment because he does a lot of the network stuff. And now he's got this weird knows everything gimmick, which they seem to be doing with Byron Saxton as well. They're referring to him as like the backstage something. I don't know, but no.
They're always ripping Byron Saxton on everything, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're referring to him as something now. I can't remember what they're calling him, but they're basically saying that he knows stuff backstage and that. So it's weird that they're going that way, but I definitely think Corey's brought a lot to the commentary. He's a heel commentator that's entertaining again, like the King was back in the day. So yeah, he's brought so much more to it. It helps that I think both rosters have now got a good commentary team. There's nothing that like meshes it anymore, that kind of thing. Like no JBL shouting at Michael Cole. So it's got better in my opinion.
My favourite's still NXT though, with Nigel McGuinness and obviously now Mauro Ranallo as well. I was gutted when Mauro left WWE. I thought it was a real big loss for them, and I'm glad that he came back eventually. Right, everyone, we hope you've enjoyed this week's podcast. We've obviously talked a little bit earlier on about doing our prize draw for the WWE title belt. That's going to be whisking its way over to the winner of the competition. We will be opening up another competition in the next couple of days. Pop's going into next week now. Come to our Facebook page, which is the Social Oddities Podcast, and you can then find us through our wrestling fan group, which is TSO's Wrestling Without Borders. Get involved, come and have a chat with us all and see what you think. Once that you're involved in that, we will be doing the lotto draw, and the winning bonus ball will have their hands on a brand new WWE belt of their choice. So it's certainly not one to be missed. £7 gets you a £370 belt. Definitely something you do not want to miss out on next week, so stay tuned. Another thing, with tonight we've talked about lots of different stuff, but we will be putting out on our Facebook page our top 10 managers, which we've touched upon tonight. Love if you can then comment underneath your top 10s and we can have a chat and compare and just chew the fat a little bit as well. You've been listening to the Social Oddities podcast this week. I'm Steve, and we'd like to all say goodbye. First of all, Adam.
Good evening. Thank you.
Kev.
Cheers. Ta-da.
Nathan.
Cheers, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Over and out. See you next week.
Don't forget to tune in next time for more fighting talk. Please don't take that out of context. I was talking about wrestling. Catch you next time.